Hi, it's Joy, and today I'm going to be watching Only Murders in the Building, Season 3, Episode 4, The White Room. Very excited for another episode of this show. I love it. As always, you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and let's go!
460 square feet all to yourself.
Soy candles and a jade egg that
Oh
is
god, this
currently
lady.
nestled in my privates. I am just kidding. Okay. Anyway,
Her new assistant is another mini-me!
some people
Paperwork. You know, pay stubs, tax returns, maybe a letter from your current landlord.
I'm pretty sure I definitely have all those things. For sure.
ritual's gold that once healed us has become our undoing.
So, you ready to
So
move
she
on this?
knows who it is.
Totally.
Me moving in my aquarium.
Okay,
my
that's
trampoline, my
nice.
exercise. You don't feel suffocated.
No, ma'am.
If you do be honest with her.
Lungs, joy. This
Yes?
is your space now.
Oh, Charlie.
Buy more fish?
I'm just gonna browse, but probably, definitely, yes.
It's an adjustment moving in with someone, that's for sure.
That's right. This merchandise off the market, bruh.
Ah, Loretta,
God,
whom
no.
you have yet to ask out. Hey, I just had an idea.
Really?
What if we cut the patter song and I just do a look?
Oh, dear Lord.
Another detail on Kimber. In the dressing
Mabel
room
is
footage
doing
I
this by
saw,
herself.
It sounded like Ben was having a lover's spat right before he collapsed on
It's
stage.
the
which would
cookies.
explain-
Uses my anti-aging serum. That's right, it's anti-aging. It's serum.
Ooh.
You guys can have it.
Are you guys stocking my serum?
Yes, because
Why
we
you should have
are
left that
all
door
in
locked?
age, yes.
Ever since Ben signed on as unofficial spokesperson, I can't keep it in stock.
People.
Making
this is
things
rehearsal
messy, it
time.
could have been
Let's
linked
keep
to
it on
that.
Yes.
Oh lord.
Oh, Mabel, you don't have to. Which is the goddamn fucking shit?
Oh dear. Is this his solace place? It's a very literal white room. Oh lord. Okay.
May
Oh,
I
that-
step out to call my therapist?
That just
I don't know what
happened.
happened. Drugs? Am I dead and on drugs?
Bro, you went to the White Room.
The what room?
White room, it's an actor thing.
A stage
Oh.
thing. You blank out, that's it. You're a polar bear.
Is
In
that a
Walt
real
Disney
thing?
documentary,
Just recovering from what just happened, and frankly, I'm having a hard time making eye contact with you, Charles.
It's-
What did I do up here?
Too soon!
Not ready. Oh, the whole structure of the sweater just falls apart.
No, stop, Mabel, no.
This is a very strange show. Pitter patter, pitter patter. You're a trained musician.
Gotta pick which triplet did it. Joy! I did it! I did the song!
Hard no. That is a crutch.
Yeah, it's a crutch. That's good,
He's
right?
like, it's a crutch. It's not good.
I'm the omelet. Say it.
You're the omelet.
I'm gonna look out for you, Charlie.
Does he think
Just
that?
like I did with Ben Glenroy. If he touched one hair on your gorgeous little head, he was gonna have to deal with me.
Oh no, she's a suspect now too.
I've been reading the Kama Sutra and we haven't done the
He was
antidote.
finally happy.
Okay.
She was making him happy, and now this season she's like a crazy lady.
What the hell are you doing here?
Ooh.
Sorry, he did use it religiously.
Even on opening night?
Of course.
Anyone
The
could have
bottle
poisoned it.
that he used. Do you even know how to talk to someone my age?
I definitely don't, and you don't count because you have old lady energy.
Oh, she really does. 72 is where I...
You guys okay out here?
Hey, mama, yeah, we're like, yes, at work and slay.
What is
and,
happening?
yes, over here, like, yeah,
I mean, you have to hustle if you want to make it here.
right.
Mabel's struggling
Well,
with
that
that.
must be hard.
Oh, actually, it does.
Oh my God, you should have seen him on opening night. He was panicking about this red mark on his face.
Red mark?
Ooh.
How did he get it?
I don't know, but he called in someone else to help him cover it up. Meanwhile, I am drowning.
Remember, this is really important. Who was in
Who?
Ben's dressing room with him?
I have no idea, but whoever
Oh no, it was Joy. Joy's our current suspect.
Hi.
Because what you said to Charles was really creepy.
You got this handled, Mabel?
Sure, I've got all of this.
Joy is the next suspect. But obviously anybody called Joy would never commit murder.
2 more weeks in these tunics and I can get back to doing what I really love.
Which is...
Same as you. Murder. She
wants to offer her a job.
Come on, what else have you got?
Because she's not a good person. She's a morally corrupt, morally bankrupt person. But then Mabel's also not got many options. She's gonna stand there and make an omelette.
For a nursery rhyme, which of the
I'm sorry. What the hell is happening with your hands?
He's making an omelette.
I'm just keeping the beat. It's a which of the Pickwick triplets did it? Which of the food
Oh.
with the quick five flew? Middle little
He loves the White Room. This is a very silly show.
Is it the song? Look, Charles.
Are you stressed
I know
about Joy moving in?
Although I did talk.
All right.
Joy's my suspect right now. It's probably
admit,
too
I'm
early in the
struggling.
season for it to actually be her, but she's my suspect.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Plus, sorry, she's my suspect, who is definitely innocent because nobody called Joy would ever kill anyone.
I want to be the guy.
You are who you are, and that's enough.
It's true.
People are meant to be alone.
Not
Maybe I'm one of them.
necessarily. If you want to be with her, and you find something about her moving in a bit much, talk to her about it. I mean, you could have been a little bit more wordy.
The Bloody Mabel Show, produced by Cinda Canning.
Fuck no. I know you
I
want
already
money.
have partners. Their best lead just fizzled out.
You can crack this, as long as you have the right partner.
Well, the
Mm-mm-mm.
guys are distracted.
Mabel,
Old.
stay strong because she's not a
Sometimes
good
they get
person.
food stuck on their chin.
Add another 0.
No.
Another.
She's desperate, but she'll regret this, I think.
No.
Charlie, you are a grade A weirdo, but I'm good for you, and you're good for me.
See, they've suddenly made her this weirdly
Takes a
intense,
minute
scary
to get the pH
person.
in the tank right, but once
Oh no, he's going to the White Room. What is he doing or saying right now?
the answer is yes, I would love to marry you.
How did this
is a fun
happen?
twist.
He wrecked the place and then found a ring?
Can you believe it? You found my lipstick. As if this wasn't already the best day of my life.
Told you she was
Nothing
gonna be the
I
next
hate more
suspect.
than an incomplete.
She's a little crazy, a little eccentric, you know. She is just her own person. She does her own thing. She lives loud. She lives proud. She's totally innocent because her name's Joy, and I would stand for that. I would testify to that effect in court that she cannot have done it. Her name is Joy. People called Joy pretty cool, you know. We don't kill people. It's fine. Or maybe that's just people called Joy who were born in the 90s, who were cool. Maybe older Joys. Maybe they're raging psychopaths. They're definitely making her really unstable. Obviously, we didn't know very much about her last season, so I'm not like, they've changed her character, because, like, we didn't really know who she was. But, like, I'm mainly disappointed because last season I was so hopeful Charles was going to be happy. And I think I would be totally okay with it if they actually wrote it that he realizes he is happy alone. Like, because he's not alone anymore. He has friends. He has Lucy back in his life. Like, yeah, and he enjoys his own space. Because I think we live in a society that kind of so forces this idea on you that you have to be in a relationship to be happy. And obviously a relationship can make you very happy, but it isn't the only way to live. Something that I think the one upside to having lived almost 30 years and having been in a relationship is that I am fully aware that I do not need to be in a relationship to find a form of happiness. Like, my life is fine. Like, there are other things wrong with it, but, like, I'm happy being single. Yeah, I'd like to meet someone, I would like to fall in love, but if I don't, I know that it is fine to be alone. Whereas some of my friends who have always been in a relationship since they were teenagers, more or less, they really struggle with the idea of not being with somebody. Or at least they did a few years ago. They're probably a bit older now, but I think something this season seems to be tackling is both with Mabel, the idea of not knowing what you want to do with your life, of kind of realizing that you've reached a point where everyone around you seems to have figured it out, and yet you haven't, but you kind of need to, but it's too late. But it isn't too late, but it feels like it is, and like that's hitting home for me. And then I wonder if with Charles we're kind of having the realization that he is okay alone, because he's not completely alone. He has people in his life. He has Lucy in his life now. Yeah, they don't see each other all the time because that's not the nature of their relationship, really, unfortunately, but they're in each other's lives. He has Mabel, he has Oliver, he has, he's acting, he's doing it again. He's finding a way to be himself and to be happy with that. So I would be totally okay if it did end up with him being alone and happy with it. It's just, I was kind of happy for him that he had found somebody who seemed to actually make him happy. She now is definitely scary. The moment she was like, I told him if he touched a hair on your head, I was like, well, she's gonna be a suspect. Obviously an innocent suspect because her name is Joy, and everyone called Joy is wonderful. We have been over this. We don't all have fish, but she's very scary, very intense. Now this idea of the white room, that could, I have no idea if that is like a real concept. Obviously, if it is a real concept, it is not a concept in the way they showed it here. That was very extreme. But I can imagine there being some kind of like stage fright, stage panic moment, which kind of people share. Like, you get that kind of stories of like shared experiences. But regardless, it was very extreme. I'm quite glad we didn't see what Charles got up to. Now, I'm very intrigued. He seemed to sort of go around the room, ending up with his hair all askew, some like pearls around his neck, picture frames askew, and a ring that he then proposed to her with. Where did that come from? It's sort of like when he goes into the white room, he does the opposite of what he wants to do. So he wanted to break up with her, or at the very least ask her to move out, because it was too much for him. And instead he basically was like, let's spend the rest of our lives together. He wants to perform the song, so he does the opposite of performing the song. Now, a good thing for him to note is he can do the song. He is able to sing it the whole way through. He just needs to get himself to a place where he is comfortable with performing the song without making it on at the same time. And he can get there. He also needs to just say, look, Joy, I'm so sorry. I just genuinely blacked out. I didn't mean that. Like, I wanted to ask you to leave, and I kind of must have panicked and asked you to marry me. I'm so sorry, but it's a no. But at the same time, they've just been like, we found that at the murder scene. So she definitely was the person that he brought in to cover up the red mark on his face. But I have a feeling whatever caused the red mark is going to be relevant, at least relevant to part of the investigation. I don't think Joy did it, just because I often don't think it's the suspect you think of at the beginning, in the same way that I was like, it's not going to be Kimber because of that, but it also would be a very, very interesting twist around double bluff if it was one of the people we dismissed at the beginning ultimately doing it, because I don't think we ever officially suspected the other killers. I don't think it will be Joy, just because that would be Charles dating two of the murderers, and like, not great. It might be another sign that he shouldn't be in relationships because he picks bad people. I don't know. Mabel, my heart breaks for her. Like, I am at a very similar point in my life. I mean, for me, it kind of definitely, I know that I have to remind myself that like I am unsure of what I want to do with my life at 29, nearly 30, because I have a chronic illness that I got in my mid-20s, and then a pandemic hit, and I shielded for like the last 3 years. So like, more or less the pandemic hit at a point when I was ready to start figuring out what kind of career path I could have that would work. I mean, oversharing, it's fine. That would work with my chronic illness, how much work I could do, what kind of job I could do, could I apply for, what would I do? That was the point. I was gearing up to do that. And then the pandemic hit, and my illness could have been made, like, I'm very lucky with how mild my chronic illness is currently. Like, I know how to manage it more than I did at the beginning, but if I don't manage it, I could end up bedridden, and like COVID could have exacerbated that. Especially at the beginning when we didn't know too much about it, it was definitely a red flag. So basically, I know what it's like for me, but you kind of, without meaning to, you realize that your life isn't where you thought it would be. Now, I have reached the point in my life where I'm okay with that. The career, the job I get, I'm not really fussed. I don't need a high paying, super amazing elite career to feel good about myself. I like myself. I like my hobbies. I like reading books. I like watching TV shows. I like reacting. I like doing like my hobbies. My outside life is where I get enjoyment from my life. Unfortunately, we live in a capitalist society, so I need a job. That's kind of where I'm at. But for Mabel, you can kind of see that she loves she loves doing these true crime podcasts. That is something that she's good at and she's succeeding at, but that is not something that it is easy to do and to make enough money to live on. I do think Cinder Canning, that is her name, right? That her offer would have really struck home because we've just seen that like that tiny box was going to be more money than any person should pay. It's not easy to start out. It's not easy to get there. And we know in Mabel's case, a lot of the reason she was held back is because she was dealing with trauma from when she was a teenager that she is only just getting over now. She will be fine and she will flourish, and I have no doubts in that. I just really hope she is at no point tempted by Cinder Canning's offer, because I think if she is tempted, she will ultimately back out of the deal or something. Like, I don't think she would ever work with her permanently, because Cinder is not the good type of podcaster. Now, if she was doing a podcast about chocolate, about sports, I wouldn't care that much. Like, yeah, she's not a great person. I wouldn't want to work with her. But, you know, if you were getting a good paycheck at the end of the day, who really cares? True crime is such a difficult area of podcasting, and true crime is difficult in general. There are a lot of true crime shows, podcasts, things that are not respectful of the victims and the victims' families, that go against what the victims and the victims' families want. It is a very fine line to cross. It's kind of one of the reasons I have not really ventured into true crime that much myself, beyond I follow a few victims' family members on TikTok to like support them, because I don't want to accidentally give support to someone that is actually not an ethical true crime person, because these are real people who lived and who died, and we shouldn't be kind of glorifying them or glorifying their murders, glorifying the killer, kind of making it into a spectacle. Now, obviously, on the flip side of that, there are a lot of very respectful, good true crime people, and I feel like Mabel is the good kind, Cinder is the bad kind, trying to pretend to be the good kind. I don't want Mabel to end up with her at all. I do think at some point she is going to need to say, look, Charles, Oliver, we are doing this podcast together, okay? I know you have the play, and I know that's important, but I need this podcast, okay? Like, you need to give me 5% of your attention span on this thing. And hopefully she will do that. Now, given that the current suspect is Charles's current girlfriend, fiance, I apologize, I think they probably will give it a little bit more attention and time, because, like, fuck. But yeah, we're making steps. The red mark on his face, that is important. That is something that I am very intrigued to find out what it is, how it happened. It could also be completely incidental, like the camera bumped his head, or like I think he was poisoned. I think there were cookies in his room. I know someone in one of my comments was saying that like maybe it was so obviously seemingly the cookies that he was talking to that it could actually be a person. I do still wonder if it could be two separate incidents. Someone gave him cookies to try and then someone else shoved him. I don't know. We will see. Kimber does not seem suspicious right now, but that could be the ultimate double bluff where it is ultimately going to be her. We will find out. Obviously we'll find out. I was gonna say we'll find out. I'm sure. Obviously we'll find out. One thing is, are they releasing this podcast now? Because if they're currently releasing each episode, like they did in the past, this is very much a thing where, and this is true in the past, but I feel like it's even more true when their suspects are from this small group of a cast of a play that meet regularly. They're like, hey, so in our podcast, we thought it was Kimber, and Kimber's gonna be like, you what? But when we interviewed her, she was just, selling some fraudulent products. Excuse me? I feel like it's going to be a difficult podcast to do to keep people on side, both for the play and for future interrogations and whatnot. But yeah, I love this show. It is ridiculous, and it is leaning into its ridiculousness, and that is why we love it. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.